Well, I think this student, you drink too much over the long weekend. You are a real estate student and you ask this kind of question. Wow, that day that can you? Really difficult game with him. Torture me. Wow, now all big. Okay, class. Good to see all of you after a long weekend. I was thinking that probably half of you won't show up, but very encouraged by your attendance this morning. I think after a long weekend, everyone has a good break, so you have a good chance to think about the question you want to ask today. So hopefully we get good quality questions that we have been seeing for the past few lessons. Okay, there are two questions related to projects, new launch. So I will answer them together because these are very related questions and both are good questions. So firstly, I'll just say A2 for both questions. The question is, if there's a new launch nearby, will it help to pull up prices of the resale condo in the neighborhood? That's one. Secondly, if there are more new launches next year, and I think that it's going to make it more competitive as a buyer, should I wait until next year when I have more projects around the area? So let me just quickly answer the first one first, which is that once a new launch comes into a neighborhood, generally it does pull up prices. Right? So we have looked at this before in one of our case studies, which is Martin Modern at Robertson Quay. It is a new project, 99 years, and it actually helped to pull up the older resale freehold condos. So that's an anomaly, but that has proven this theory correct. Once a good project comes into the neighborhood, it does help to pull up the neighbors' prices, right? So to answer this question shortly and sweetly, it does depend on what's the condo type in the neighborhood. This kind of effect may not happen all the time, but Martin Modern was a good example. So going on to projects, now you are asking, if there are more projects next year, should I just wait? Firstly, I have to say that developers have fixed costs. We have covered this in one of our lessons. Land cost is a fixed cost. Construction cost is almost a fixed cost as well. So it's not really possible for them to drop their prices just because there are other developers launching their own project. But one thing as a buyer you can have is definitely you have more options. But then again, prices next year, I will see that it's going to be even higher than this year because land prices are increasing. Right, so for this student, if you are asking this question thinking the prices will drop just because there are more projects, that will not happen. Instead, I think next year prices may even be higher. But as a buyer, you definitely get more options to choose from. Right, so these are two project-related questions, very well thought through. So A2 to both of you. Next question. Should I buy a house that requires less renovation? Well, I think this student, you drink too much over the long weekend. You are a real estate student and you ask this kind of question. This is a C6, okay? C6 immediately, I'm going to answer this. As I said many times in our lessons, renovation is a variable. If the buyer has money, they can spend a lot, they can spend on renovation and they can transform the house. But there are physical attributes of the property that cannot be changed by money. If you buy a 5th floor level property, all the money in the world will not make it a 10th floor, right? It will always be a 5th floor property. So physical attributes cannot be changed. So if you're looking to buy a property just because it requires less renovation, that is a very deadly mistake. First and foremost, you should look at the property and consider the physical attributes that cannot be changed. Whether is it facing the west where you will get very hot afternoon sun, or it's actually having a north-south facing, which generally you get good ventilation. So these are actually more important attributes to look at. The height of the property, if you're looking at a condo, if it's a landed, the size of the land, the shape of the land. These are things that you cannot change with money or renovation, and you should choose your property based on those opportunities presented with the property. So I understand that renovation is a cost, but it's a one-time cost. So you should not be choosing properties just because the renovation is going to cost you less. Because in the long run, a wrong property is going to cost you more. So please get this clear, students. I've mentioned this many times before. Don't make this deadly mistake. Okay, now we want to just finish up on today's lesson. We have one final question. At the current interest rates environment, Should I put in more down payment and take less loan? Right? The interest rates are so high. This way I can save some money. Is this the right way to go? Right, this is a bit out of scope in our class because this has more to do with mortgage rates, even though you will always face this when buying a property, but this is not a real estate issue, it's more of a financial issue. So I will not hold up the class further. This student who asked this question, please look for me at the end of the class. I will give you my personal take on this question. So I'm not going to rate this question because it's not related to our course, it's more on the financial side. Okay class, so thank you very much. Today I think on the whole the questions are of a good quality, except for that student who asked about buying a property just because it costs less renovation. That is very, very wrong, so please remember that. And today I'll let you all go off earlier because Professor's back is aching from my badminton game. So thank you, and I'll see you in the next lesson.